Hare-Abian Nights is not too bad. Sometimes compilation episodes of Warner Brothers are a little bit stale, but actually this one I thought worked quite well. This is a 1959 Warner Brothers cartoon directed with clips as well, Ken Harris, Fritz Freleng and Chuck Jones, and written by Michael Maltese, and of course we have Mel Blanc voicing Bugs Bunny and various other characters. And it starts off with a string of performers, pretty good puns with some of these performers' names I rather enjoyed, performing for the Sultan, and the Sultan's not amused, so he presses the button for the crocodile pit. They go down the crocodile pit. Bugs Bunny turns up and he tells various stories to try and avoid being sent down the crocodile pit. And I'm not entirely sure what the reward is if you're not sent down the crocodile pit other than life, but either way, that might have been mentioned and I might have missed it. He tells various stories of things he's done, and as he tells these stories, we see the relevant clips from previous previous Bugs Bunny cartoons. And I think everything worked quite well. I think the selection of clips were pretty good. They were all quite interesting and were varied. They definitely were varied in their themes and in their style, so I think it kept it a little bit more fresh. That also, it did kind of mean that sometimes it was a little bit difficult to switch the brain from one to the next because they were quite different. So I guess there are pros and cons of either way, but personally I found it to be quite enjoyable. And the new material where Bugs is telling the story to the Sultan, I thought was beautifully animated, really gorgeous colour palettes, a lot of very soft colours, rich colours, really pleasing to look at, really great supporting characters, really well animated, and as I said, there were some interesting puns as well with some of the names of the performers, which I quite liked. The pacing of the narrative's really good, very well animated. I'm not always the biggest fan of compilations or clip shows because, as I said, sometimes I just feel like they feel a bit like a cop-out, to be honest. Like they haven't got anything fresh to come up with, or they haven't got the money. But with this one, I actually feel like it was creative, and it did make sense. And everything was generally well edited together, so I think I liked it. Hare-Abian Nights is actually a pretty good cartoon, and one that I would recommend.